Welcome back, our dear viewers. As we have promised at the beginning of the show that we are going to talk today about the entrepreneurship. What's the entrepreneurship and to what extent the entrepreneurship could help in boosting the economy? This week, a workshop and a summit was kicked off in Alexandria for entrepreneurship and creativity in collaboration with other summits which are taking place in many parts of the world to shed light about the importance of such a summit and the importance of the entrepreneurship in the Egyptian economy. We are very much delighted to have our dear guest in the studio, Mr. Ayman Mahmoud. He is a business consultant. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank
you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Ayman. First of all, would you tell us more about the Entrepreneurship Week? Because I understand that it's actually an international event and not just confined to Egypt. So would you tell us more about it?
Well, actually, I was approached by a very nice gentleman from Alexandria like 2 years ago to join this week, but I was on a busy schedule at the time. But then this year, he introduced me to this week. It's very important because it's conducting in many countries simultaneously. Now it's happening in many countries around the world. And the importance of such summits is that a lot of people, when they want to start their own business, they want to become entrepreneurs, they lack the good advice, you know, they lack the good training or the good structure they could get their business built upon. So they this week is really important because it's inviting a lot of great speakers and trainers and consultants who already run their own businesses and help others to grow their own businesses. So the week is really important, and I was delighted to be on the first day as
yes. Ayman, you did deliver a speech
yes.
at the inaugural session of the summit. So can you tell us more about the speech and to what extent your contribution in such an important summit could help in developing your contribution in such a field and also in helping the entrepreneurship as you have an international experience in such a field?
Oh, okay. Well, my story with entrepreneurship, you know, when we talked about entrepreneurship like 10 years ago, nobody would have
indeed
really know anything about it, right?
It was such a strange word for the people.
Yes, but now it's like, it's trendy and everybody talks about it. Everybody talks about coaching and the purpose of life, etc., etc. But what my main focus was to get people or the attendees who want to grow their own business or they start their businesses to reconsider this decision, actually, because a lot of people want to become entrepreneurs, which is not actually which could be a bad thing to do.
It could be a bad thing.
Yes.
Why?
Because they are solopreneur or maybe they are good freelancer. Why would they want to convert? It's because, you know, the social pressure, you know, to become entrepreneur and to be, you know, to start.
It became a famous thing nowadays.
Yes, yes, but it's not. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to be successful, you know, and run a small business as a freelancer. You know, a solopreneur, someone who's a designer, someone who's a a designer, a painter, someone who's a freelancer who does something from home, you know. Yeah. I think, you know, they don't have to go and start a business because they need a lot of resources, and those resources could be a waste, you know, like money, time, team efforts, etc., etc. So my main focus was to get people to reconsider their decision. So a lot of them they knew or came to the event considered to become entrepreneurs. So that means to start a company, not just to be a freelancer and to grow that as a business, because it's not actually entrepreneurship to be a freelancer and convert that into a company.
Now, what were some of the most important themes which were discussed during the conference?
Well, in the first day, actually, the main topic were to get people to decide whether they want to be entrepreneurs or not. And then we talked about the real meaning of becoming an entrepreneur and what does it mean to start a company and to be building your enterprise or company on a need that it's there, not on your just passion. You know, you wake up one day passionate about something. This is not entrepreneurship. And also, there have been a talk by the U.S. consulate there about motivating the youth in particular to build this society. You know, not to learn how to become entrepreneurs and then they would start the business abroad.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like an opening for everyone.
Like brainstorming.
It was like, you know, laying out the structure, you know, for the coming sessions and workshop.
Introduction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Ayman, what is a leading entrepreneur, and to what extent being a leader in such a field of entrepreneurship could help in developing the economy as a whole?
Well, Mahesti, an entrepreneur who's someone who would spot an opportunity to provide a solution. It's not that I just want to do something that I love. You know, the leadership, from leadership perspective, an entrepreneur is someone who's got a vision about what could be better in life. I mean, look at someone like Richard Branson. You know, he talked one day he was on a flight and then he didn't feel comfortable, and then he decided to you know, to reshape this industry and started his company, Virgin Atlantic, right? And Virgin Airlines. Sorry for mentioning the company's name, but you know, but this guy, you know, he's a leader, you know, because he's got a bigger vision for what could be possible for people. And what could be possible, it comes in two terms. One, there's a problem, and here's a solution. Yep. Now I'm a leader, now I'm an entrepreneur, if I started a company to provide that solution. The number two is what could be bettering, you know, what could be a tool, a catalyst that I could provide people to better the life. Yep. You know, so this is the second thing. So being an entrepreneur is exactly like being a leader, someone who's got a vision, and he pursues that vision, you know, day and night.
Yes. What about the challenges facing young entrepreneurs?
A lot of challenges, actually. You know. Well, they need access to money. They need access to, you know, they don't have experience of building teams. They need to understand the market. And youth, they have ideas, but they don't know how exactly to...
what channel they should follow in order to make their idea become real, I believe?
Well, actually, let's describe the structure or the life cycle of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Well, first of all, an entrepreneur starts with...
an idea.
Idea, right? It's an idea. This is the phase that's called pre-launching. You know, this is a phase where an entrepreneur needs to focus on what people really need, not what I want to provide them, because there's a big difference, you know. And then we have the second phase, which is the starting up phase. And most entrepreneurs, they think, you know, they need to skip the pre-launching phase and get directly to the startup. You know, do you want to build a company? Do you want to find a location? Do you want to rent a place or buy a place to start a company? So this is like a psychological challenge. Do you want to speed up? You know, and speed, that's a rule in business. Speed kills, you know. And then they need to understand, you know, that there is another phase, a third phase for this cycle, which is growth. They don't have strategies to grow the business. Actually, they just want to start the business without strategic plan to grow it. And the final phase, which is maturity. Yeah. You know.
Mr. Ayman, that would bring me, since Rasha did mention the challenges about the startups and the incubators.
Yeah.
Do you believe that we do have enough incubators in order to help the entrepreneurs to have to be on the right track, to help them to be ready to launch their project or to materialize their idea. I do believe that we do have some incubators, but I think that they are not enough.
That's a very good question, actually. Well, actually, if you have an idea and if you can make money out of it by selling this idea, by making it into a product or service, in one line, if you can describe to an investor in one line how much would it return, what is the ROI of this, the return on investment for launching this idea, product or service, then you will get the investor, you will get the incubator. Actually, we have, we think that we don't have enough, but actually we have a lot of assets out there, and people don't want to lose the assets because there is no guarantee. And the idea, maybe it's not that.
Mr. Ayman, I'm not only talking about individuals here, but some NGOs or some universities are providing incubators to
no, we don't have enough. No, we don't have enough.
You know what I do mean here,
yes, yes.
Like the
institution.
One in the,
yeah, we discussed this at the beginning of the summit, that we don't actually
have enough incubators.
We don't have enough incubator, and people. We told them, maybe guys, you will be ending up fighting each other on.
But why we do not have enough incubators? Because I do believe that it's a very important business or entities nowadays. So why we do not provide that? Why the government are not providing? I don't know if they do have, but maybe if even they do have, they are not enough. Some universities are providing, some NGOs, but still, we do need much more.
Again, if you have the right plan for the right product at the right time, you can attract the incubator even from outside this country. The thing is, this has to be, like a national thing, and it starts from here. I mean, thank you guys for talking about entrepreneurship. Who would have thought that would happen, like years ago? Thank you so much, So, I mean, spreading the world, inviting entrepreneurs to a show like this to talk about their idea, to pitch their idea on TV, could, incite some people who got the money, to create something, because nothing just comes from, thin air.
Now, for the fields itself, like from your field of expertise, which domain or which field is the most successful or promising for entrepreneurs? Like, what type of business is the best right now in Egypt?
Well, interestingly enough, if I told you, like, all domains are so important now, like equally. I mean, people who provide solutions to agriculture, or industrial domain, or business, IT, or everything is important. And this is a very good question because, even for an entrepreneur to start a business, we used to ask ourselves, what is the most important thing to begin with, or what is the most important thing to do, in order for me to have a successful business or to run a successful business. This is actually has changed because we need to ask a different question. What are, like everything we need, like what are everything we need to do, so we can grow a successful business.
No, but what is better, like to go into a field that is promising, or to go into a field that you have few competitors in, like when you're thinking as an entrepreneur?
Well, actually, I would go with where first I would advise if I'm advising an investor, I would advise them to go where the money comes. So this is like. So anyway, I mean, if I'm asking someone to start a business, I would ask him to go where they can make money quickly.
But how, Mr. Ayman, can you guarantee that? Because sometimes you do listen to an idea and you get the impression that it could be very successful, and if it did develop in the right way, and after that it might turn out to be not that successful. So as a business consultant, how can you read that?
Yes, because customer is king, right?
Indeed, of
yeah.
course.
So
Always.
at the pre-launching phase, we need to go and to do our surveys. We need to go and talk to people and listen.
Do we do that? Because as an entrepreneur,
Really?
if it's
Okay.
a young entrepreneur who is working by himself or with his partners, do you believe that they do have the capabilities to have a business survey, to know properly the market and to do their statistics? How that would work?
They shouldn't do this actually, because an entrepreneur is someone who's innovator,
Indeed,
someone
yes.
who's a problem solver, right? But he's definitely not a manager, and he's definitely not an investor, right? So they need to outsource this. I mean, they need to hand this job to people like me,
To sell the idea, maybe,
or to sell the idea. I asked this question to the people attending the summit.
Yeah.
Who's willing to sell the idea? Who's
I would
willing
do
to
that. But
who's willing
why
to
would
sell
he
the
sell
company
his
after
own
it's so
idea?
successful?
Why would I, after I have exerted an effort to build something out of scratch, I'd sell it?
It's done most of the
Because
time.
that's what entrepreneurs.
how you get money.
Yeah, exactly, and
But that
that's
won't be as profitable, though, because you just...
no. Let me
is.
describe to you something. Let me
It
tell you
is.
something about companies. If it's successful, you started something, and it's a great success, right? Now you're in a phase. You grow. You got it grown, and it's amazing. And then you enter the phase of maturity, and now here is the risk. Well, you can't navigate at this phase, because at this phase the growth go down, right?
But usually
Yes.
when you're
So
starting a business,
usually
you have to have
entrepreneurs,
a
they lose
feasibility
the
study.
business. Sorry?
I'm saying that usually when you're starting a business, you do first what they call a feasibility study.
Yes,
and
yeah.
then even if it's a small business, even
Yeah.
if it's just entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
so accordingly that would tell you what's going on, and you have to do. I totally disagree with the idea that you don't do a survey, because you're saying let someone else do it for you. But if he's a small entrepreneur, that would be costly for him or her or them.
Yes, it could be. It will be costly actually
That's
for
why you
them.
can't sell
That's
the
why
idea.
they need that, and
That's why it's
that's why
quick. You cannot
that's why
finance.
we need the investor. I mean, we met with people,
Yes.
young, amazing young people.
With great ideas.
Great
Yeah.
ideas. I mean, if they found a job and they started to save money, in how many years they would start the working on this idea? In 1,000 years, right?
Yes, so
But the solution, the shortcut to this is to find an investor, right? And then when you grow the company and it's successful, I mean, I'm not asking them to sell the company after it's successful, but it's a very risky phase. And maybe it's the best solution at that time is to sell the company to someone who would take care of it and make it even more successful.
And maybe expand as well.
Look at all the companies that are killing their brands, into smaller companies. Why? Because they want to save them. And look at the companies who are integrated into under one brand. They do that because they want to save those small initiative or companies.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Mr. Ayman, many people are still having the idea, or many youngsters and university graduates are still with the idea of just sitting and waiting for the job opportunities to come.
Oh, no.
So, as a business consultant here, what's your message to those people? Because I think the situation is totally different now.
Yes.
The idea of waiting to get a job, even in a multinational company, is not that promising anymore. They do a lot of layoffs. The salaries are not very competitive, or they are not very appealing anymore. And due to the situation, not only in Egypt, but in the whole world, the situation has differed now, and people has to move in another direction.
Yes.
So what's your take on that?
My take on that, okay, because I myself started at an early age working, like I wanted to be independent, unlike...
Did you start as an employee, or did you start as...
I haven't worked a job in my life,
That's interesting.
Yes, yeah. Well, my father told me, okay, you paint all the time, and you should do something. You should make money out of this. If you're an artist and you can't make money, then you have to change this. So what I've done basically is that I found an opportunity, to get myself working for those new openings, touristy places around Egypt. I started as a painter, basically.
painting, doing painting.
Doing painting, you know. So that was a totally different skill than what I do right now. So my take on this is that you have to build a skill that it's needed.
But why not many young people are willing to do that? Maybe there's still some old stereotyping that, no, I've graduated with this university certificate, with that as a pharmacist or a doctor or whatever, so I have to work at the same field.
No, they don't have to. They don't have to do this. You know, they have to survive. They have to protect themselves. They have to educate themselves financially. You know, because we have this financial illiteracy. You know, in this country, it's huge. You know, so they need to learn. You know that you are only needed if you have the skill. The only protection for you, your future, your finances in the future, is to, you know, grow the skills or build the skills that it's needed.
Indeed, so we have to change the mentality. Yes.
The mentality, yeah, we talked about this, you know. You don't have to be an entrepreneur as well, you know. But if you have to, then you have to do it right.
Indeed.
Well, we still have more questions to ask, but unfortunately we have to wrap this segment up. We'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you so
very
much.
Business consultant, Mr. Ayman Mahmoud. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And good morning.
Mr. Ayman, and have a lovely day.
You too.
And now we'll go to watch this feature story by our dear colleague Dina Younis, and after that we'll be back to continue our segments in the breakfast show, so stay tuned.